had quite a rehearsal. So,
It's an amazing collection. Is it all together? It's all together, and actually I thought my brother-in-law standing in the center of this it's a big collection.
See, I'm a big classical music collector myself.
Do you have CDs?
I have lots of CDs, but
Are you
I'm sure that there are things in that collection that I would love
to get hold of? Yes.
but I mean,
I think if you ask, if
Welcome, everybody. We're going to get started. People out there in the live stream world, Shabbat Shalom. We're so happy that you're with us. Ma'im Chaim, the waters of life. Hine ma tovu manayim. Page 128 in your Siddur. Gam yachad. 128. Tovu manayim. Shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov. Shevet achim gam yachad. Page 128. Hine ma tov. Shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim. Shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim. Shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov. Hine ma tov. Ya la la, ya la 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 la. Hine ma tov. Hine ma tov. Ya la la, ya la 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 la. Hine ma tov u'manayim. Shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim. Shevet achim gam yachad. Shevet achim gam yachad. How wonderful it is for brothers and sisters to dwell together. Judy Fradkin. Judy Fradkin, thank you so much for making sure that we were fed so beautifully, so well organized. Everything was put out, everything was put away. It's just really amazing. So would you please honor us with the lighting of the Shabbos candles? Judy is just recently back from Africa. And if you want to see her book, she made an amazing book. And if any of you want to go to Africa, we are going on safari next June. Hopefully, we will get some advice from those South Africans that we do have in our congregation. And I just found out, by the way, oh, Deborah's not here. Crystal, Sierra and David want to join us on the African safari. So if anybody else doesn't go, then they want to show up. So please let us welcome in the light of Shabbat. The two candlesticks represent partnership, loving partners on Shabbat, family, community, us, Temple Emet, and the partnership between Am Yisrael and Adonai. We make 3 circles. The number 3 brings order out of the chaos in the world. We bring those circles close to our heart as we welcome the light into our own being, as we separate the chaos from the weak, from the special sacred time of Shabbat. So everyone take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. We make those 3 circles. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu Lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Air hug somebody or kiss them or whatever you want to do. Mwah, mwah. Shabbat Shalom to someone next to you. So it's wonderful. Now we are going to welcome in the Sabbath messengering angels on page 142 with Shalom Aleichem. And it is said that the angels are peeking in the window to see if we are actually observing Shabbat. There are the good angels, and there are the mischievous angels. And the mischievous angels, they want to catch us not doing it. See, they don't do it, they don't keep it, those little sibling rivalry. And the good angels are like, yes, but look at them. Here we are in Temple Emet, observing Shabbat. Not only doing that, we had a Shabbos meal together. It's all good. We are doing the work for the rest of the world. So, Shalom Aleichem, page 142. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharim, Malachei HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Melechem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Yadai, Melechem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei in this room. Very exciting. So now if you'll please turn to page 138. We have Lachadodi, where we welcome in the Sabbath bride. And so Shabbat is kindled with the lights and that representation of partnership. And Shabbat is like the Sabbath bride. We are welcoming in Shabbat and love and light and that sense of connection. So we're going to do verse 1 on page 138, and then we're going to do verse 5, and then we're going to do verse 9. And when we get to verse 9, you'll see some people will rise and turn around and face the door to ceremonially welcome in the Shabbos bride. So once again, when we think about the messenger and angels, we are also welcoming the bride. We are all the bride. We are the bride. We are the groom. We are the we, it, they. We are everything. So Lachadodi, page 138. You can clap, you know. You'll feel it more. Lachadodi, Likrakala, Yalla, 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 Ifnei Shabbat, Nekavela. Lachadodi, Likrakala, Yalla, 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 Ifnei Shabbat, Nekavela. Verse 1. Shamor v'zachor v'nilbor echad, Hishmianu Elhanai echad, Adonai echad, V'shamo echad, L'Shem v'Tiferet v'Litehila, Lechadodi Likrakala, Yalla, 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 V'nei Shabbat, Nekavela. Lechadodi Likrakala, Yalla, 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 V'nei Shabbat, Nekavela. Verse 5. Hitoreri, Kiva Orek, Ori, Shedaveri, Kevod yalalai, 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 Pnei Shabbat, Nekavela, Lecha Dodi, Librat Kala, yalalai, 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 Pnei Shabbat, Nekavela. Verse 9. Believe Shalom, Ateret Bala, Gam Besimcha, Vetzohala, Tochemune, Anselula, Belichala, Belichala. Everybody! Lecha Dodi, Librat Kala, yalalai, 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 Pnei Shabbat, Nekavela. Dodi, Librat Kala, yalalai, 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 Pnei Shabbat, Nekavela. Woo! Please be seated. Woo! See, you get your exercise. All right, so let us read together as we take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Bottom of page 145. Entrances to holiness are everywhere. You know, Mark Reichard, you're right there by the controls, and you are a good facilities person with Elias right there. You can just open it up and make it colder. But it's good to have the doors open. Not only do we have COVID filters, but we have all these French doors, and we have air conditioning. It's all good. Okay, once again, we'll start over. Entrances to holiness are everywhere. The possibility of ascent is all the time. Even at unlikely times and through unlikely places, there is no place on earth without the presence. And the Hatzi Kaddish, which is on page 144, it separates our Kabbalat Shabbat, our worship, our spiritual musical gymnastics to warm up our soul and our being from the official call to worship, which is going to be coming right after the Baruch Hu. So, page 144. Yitkadal, Yikadash, Shemei Rabbah, Be'almad Yivarach Erutei, Be'amlich Malchutei, V'chayechon V'yomechon, V'chayei Lechol Beit Yisrael, Bagala, Bagala, V'izmahan Karivim Arel, Yehi Shemei Rabbah Mevarach, Le'alam Lo Me'almaya, Yitbarach, Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitpa'ar, V'yikramam, V'yitnaseh, V'yithadar, V'yithaleh, V'yithalal, Shemei Dekudashah, Rechu Le'ela Min Kol Birchata, V'shirata. Please rise. Tishbechata V'nechemata, Da'amiran Be'alma V'imru. Amen. And our official call to worship, our Baruch Hu, can be found on page 146. Yai, dai, 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 dai. 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 Yai, dai, 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 dai. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Please be seated. So every time we say Baruch Atah Adonai, blessed are you Adonai, we're putting praise out into the universe. It reflects upon the divine, and then it's like a boomerang or like a mirror. It reflects back upon all of us. So when we take the time out of our busy lives and the chaos that we're all in, for those of you who don't know, Mercury is about to go back into retrograde pretty soon in September, so if any of you believe in that, things are going to get really crazy as we go through high holy days. Things will break down, communication won't be the same. But when we put that energy out, when we put that praise out, when we put that blessing out, it blesses us all. So let us read together on the bottom of page 147. O God, you are as near as the very air we breathe, yet farther than the farthermost star. We yearn to reach you. We seek the light and the warmth of your presence. Though we say you are near, we are lonely and alone. Oh, let our desire be so strong that it will tear the veil that keeps you from our sight. Let your light release our darkness and reveal the glory and the joy of your presence. And our evening prayer, our Ma'ariv, our Ravim, is on page 148. First, let us read on the bottom of 149. And as we speak about change on Shabbat, we have the opportunity to manifest change in our own being. We get to rest, refresh, renew, and then after Shabbat is over, we have a whole new week, and we have the opportunity to be better than we were before. Why? Because we're rested. So, this is an hour of change. Together, let us read together. This is an hour of change. Within it, we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it, we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? What lies before us? It's hard to believe that Rosh Hashanah is about 5 weeks away. Are you all aware of that? Some of us are very well aware of it, right? But we have to contemplate what lies before us. What do we want our new year to be? Who do we want to be? We're lucky as Jews. We get a bunch of New Years every year to reinvent ourselves, and we get Shabbat. But really, at this point in our lives, as we're dealing with COVID and monkeypox and all this craziness, like, what do we really want for ourselves? We have the opportunity to create that, especially the energy, the power is really strong and available to us at this time. Page 148, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, bechochma poteach she'arim, uvitbunan mashane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umesader et hakochavim, v'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono, b'rayom v'layla, kolel or mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or, umavir yom, umevir layla, umavdil ben yom v'layla, Adonai Sevaot Shemo El Chai V'Kayam Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Leolam Va'ed Baruch Atah Adonai Amariv Aravim. And we have so many new people that have joined us in the past year or two. Please email me if you're interested in another Hebrew class to learn how to read the prayers, and even some of you who like to redo them again, like some people take the class 4 or 5 times, but it's been a few years now, so not only do we learn the Hebrew letters and learn how to do them, but we also learn some of the Kabbalistic meanings of the letters as well. Ahavat Olam on page 150. Everlasting love you offered your people Yisrael by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishtarim, otanu limadata, otanu limadata. Akein Adonai Eloheinu v'shofinu, v'v'kameinu nasiach b'chukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, v'b'mitzvotecha, v'elam ba'ed. Ki chayenu ve'orech yameinu, u'v'aram neged yomam v'layla, neged yomam v'layla. Be'ahavatecha al tasir, v'imenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael, Ohev Amo Yisrael. And at the top of 151, let us read together. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me, but did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, and to know. Lead me into the mystery. And that mystery can be found within our own being on the Shema on the next 2 pages. We can go inside, however you can best connect, standing or sitting, to that still, small voice within you, that sort of Jiminy Cricket inside your being that is you connected to the divine. Page 152 and 153. Let's take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kavod, Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kavod, Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Adonai together the English here. O Yisrael, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever. Please be seated. In the Me'ahavta on page 154, we are meant to pass that love for Adonai, the door of a door, down from generation to generation. And there's so much of that going on in our community right now. Last year, we married Harriet's grandchildren. This year, we married another set, the other twin. Sierra, Crystal's daughter, just got married last Sunday. We had a wonderful wedding. Marsha Crabtree's daughter is getting married in September. We're going to be doing that. We're having a baby naming for the Marquise family, the Brendan Marquise. It's so exciting. We have so much going on. And my son, he even called me and said, Mom, I usually do the Ve'ahavta Kol Nidre. I would like to do it if that's okay, if I'm around. So, page 154, we are meant to pass this down. Ve'ahavta. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavecha v'chol nafshecha v'chol me'odecha v'hayu ha'devarim ha'eleh asher Anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha v'veitecha v'velechtecha v'derech v'veshochtecha v'v'kanecha v'kashartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'einecha v'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkaru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hiyatem kedoshim le'elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim v'hiyot lachem Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem, Amen. So those of you that are here for the first time, and you might be hearing people around you doing this Hebrew, please know, most of the people in this room, some of them grew up with it, but a lot of them, over the last 18 years or so, have been studying Hebrew with me. Some had a bat mitzvah when they were younger, then they had another one with us, then they had a confirmation with us, then we had to make up a new category. What were you, Sandra, a special adult scholar or something for the third or fourth time around? I don't know, we just do our own thing here at Temple Met. But, everyone sort of works at it and wants to make that connection. And so we're grateful for that. And we're grateful for the families that are passing this love for Judaism along to their children and their grandchildren, maybe their great-grandchildren that are coming up. But it's always interesting to me at the weddings. We start out, I don't want anything real Jewish. And then a little more happens, and then a little more happens, and a little more happens. Before you know, we're smashing the glass, we're doing the wine. Oh, you want a little wine? Loosen you up for the wedding. Like a little thing goes on. And so, but it's always interesting to me. I do interfaith weddings, and I've done same-sex marriages, but domestic partnerships when it wasn't legal, and who knows what's going to happen in the future. We do not do politics on this bima. But the interesting thing is that if the Sheva Brachot, the 7 wedding blessings, are so important that even if we don't do it in the Hebrew, they always elect pretty much to have 7 different people give 7 blessings in English so that we have that. But it's always amazing to me the ones that say, no, we want you to do the Hebrew too. And it goes on and on and on and on. The Sheva Brachot, like if you're Orthodox, you're conservative, you're used to that. But with Reform Judaism, and they always look at me and they're like, wow, that was really long. But they connect. And it's sort of like the bloomin' onion at Outback Steakhouse or something, or they're like layers and layers, and we don't know exactly what's going to really take root, but it does. And our soul knows. We have 2 people that want to convert in this coming year. A third one may actually be looking at us in September. And so it's always exciting to know that we haven't died out. COVID is trying to kill us all, not just figuratively and physically, but spiritually. And it's hurting every faith-based religion that there is. But we're here. And that's what we know how to do as Jews. We know how to stay in the game. So, top of page 157, as we start to go into the Milchamocha, this is when Pharaoh and the chariots were behind us, and the sea was in front of us, and we knew what was behind. We didn't know what was ahead, but we went forward toward our destiny, which is something that we remember every Shabbat. Top of page 157, we'll do the reading, and then we sing the prayer on 158. And if you want to get up and dance in the room, shake your tushy, your booty a little bit, and get some exercise, please do. Top of page 157. At home, you can do it too. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, and that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. Micha Mocha, page 158. Please get up and you can dance in your seat or you can move around, whatever you want to do. Our minstrels, they like to get up and move around. You tired today? Is it too hot? Okay, page 158. Micha Mocha. There's some spirit in this room. Even after they ate a whole Shabbos meal, they're getting up and they're dancing. They got it going on. Page 160, Hashkivenu, with Ufros Aleinu. We ask that God be with us on our journey, when we rise up, when we lie down, and together. We're so blessed at Temple Emet. We are a family, and we do things differently here. So let's read together as our musicians play on the top of page 161. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up, waiting to do your will. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom, v'hamidenu l'shomrenu l'chaim, u'faras aleinu sukkot shlomecha, u'faras aleinu sukkot shlomecha. Amen. Ufaros aleinu sukkot, sukkot, shalom lecha. Yeah. Shalom Alecha. And on the bottom of page 160, let us read the English there. So the way that our Siddur, our prayer book, works, both this and the Machzor for High Holy Days, the text directly underneath the prayer is the most close to what the literal translation is of the Hebrew, and the text on the opposite page is more of a poetic interpretation. So let us read on the bottom of 160. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace, and raise us up, O guardian, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel for your name's sake. Be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and coming to life and to peace evermore. And now, if you will turn to Vishamru on page 162. I don't know, you want to do Vishamru? Yes, Michael, what do you want to do? Vishamru. Okay. The people of Israel shall keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat throughout the ages as a covenant for all time. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, Lasot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam, v'brit olam, v'niyu vein b'nei Yisrael, oti le'olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz v'yom hashvi'i Shabbat Shabbat v'yinafash Shabbat Shabbat v'yinafash Shabbat Shabbat v'yinafash Shabbat Shabbat v'yinafash. Those who keep Shabbat by calling it a delight will rejoice in your realm. May it be so for all of us who are here, both in person and on live stream. We're doing it for the world. Please rise if you're able as the ark is open. Turn to 164 for the Amidah, where we acknowledge our ancestors who have come before. 166, 168, and then it concludes on 170. Anananananana Adonai, Ananananana Svatai Tiftach, Ananananana Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha, Ananananana Adonai, Ananananana Svatai Tiftach, Ananananana Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha, Ananananana, Ananananana Adonai, Ananananana Svatai Tiftach, Ananananana Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. page 164. Adonai Sephatai Tiftach Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor, V'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Hasdei Avot V'Imahot, V'Mevi Gila Libnei V'Nehem, Leman Shemo Ve'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Mashiach U'Magin, Baruch atah Adonai, Magin Abraham V'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayei HaKol atah, Rav leHoshia, Morid Hatal, Mechalkel Chayim B'Chesed, Mechayei Meitim B'Rachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim V'Rofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Ba'al Gevuro, El Mido Melach, Melech Memid, Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'Neheman Atalach Yod HaKol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei HaMeitim, Atah Kadosh V'Shimcha Kadosh, V'Kadoshim B'Chol Yom, Yehalalucha Selah, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Please be seated. It's always wonderful when Mark and Sandra up here. Mark has sung for many years in the choir, back in the day when we had a full choir. Now we just have a lot of women who are tenors. And so, but it's great, because he sings out. When it says, open up my lips that my mouth shall declare your glory, there we are, Mark and Sandra. Not only do they do it with their lips and their mouths and their spirit, but they do it with their actions and their deeds. This is a true Eish Chayil, and this is a true mensch. They are actually both tzaddikim, very good people. We started Temple Emet, had that discussion in their living room, and here we all are. So now if you'll turn to page 174, we have the Ritzeh. And let us read the English, top of the page. Find favor, Adonai our God, with your people Yisrael, and accept their prayer in love. May the worship of your people Yisrael always be acceptable. God, who is near to all who call, turn lovingly to your servants. Pour out your spirit upon us. Ritzeh Adonai Eloheinu ve'amcha Yisrael. Ritzeh Adonai Eloheinu ve'amcha Yisrael. Tefilatam Tefilatam ve'ahavat tekavel. Tefilatam ve'ahavat tekavel. Ritzeh Adonai Eloheinu ve'amcha Yisrael. Ritzeh Adonai Eloheinu ve'amcha Yisrael. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. So our normal practice is the first Friday of the month is a 5 o'clock service, and then we all go out to eat after. And then the third Friday of the month is a dinner before, and then the service at 6:30. And I know that there are some people who prefer a later service, and so this service I tend to give them a little bit more because they don't like to come to the first service at the beginning of the month. So one's a little shorter than the other, but we're trying to give everybody what they need here at Temple Emet. And then in November, the second Saturday, we'll resume at 10:30 in the morning. And we have our lunch bunch, which Diana will talk about once a month. And we used to have a dinner and movie night. Let's see what happens with COVID. Maybe we bring that back. Because I know some of you are going to the movies, so maybe we bring that back again. Shabbat Shalom. This Shabbat is Parsha Eikev, and Moses actually continues his dialogue with the Israelites. So for those of you that don't know, I take the Torah portion of the week for my sermon. As I said, I don't do politics up here. But what I do is I make this document that's almost 6,000 years old, relevant to our lives. And pretty much usually whatever's going on in our life is actually relatable that week to the Parsha and the Torah. But I'm going to actually read some words directly from the Torah for this Shabbat because I do think they're important, especially as we're about to head into High Holy Days. And for those of you that don't know, the whole book of Devarim is a reiteration of what's already gone on before because the Israelites are about to have that possibility of who's going to go into the Promised Land and who isn't. So, Moses continues with his speech to the Israelites and says, "It will come to pass as a result of your hearing these 10 commandments and carrying them out with care, that God will keep with you this covenant. God will love you, bless you, and multiply you. God will bless the fruit of your body, your soil, your grain, wine, oil, and animals. You will be blessed more than all peoples. But," Moses warns, "you will have to annihilate many people. Your eyes shall not feel any mercy for them, so that you will not serve their gods, for this is a trap for you. Do not fear them, for God, your God, is a great and awesome God. God will deliver them up before you, and you shall destroy them. The images of their idols, of their gods, shall burn in the fire. Do not lust after the silver and the gold that is upon them, and take it for yourself. Do not do that, for it is an abomination to God. Remember the entire path along which God has led you these 40 years in the wilderness. God let you go hungry, then gave you manna in order to have. You know that it is not by bread alone that man can make a life for himself, but that man can live by everything that comes from God. Therefore, hold fast upon your heart the knowledge that as a man trains his son, so does God train you." These are very powerful words, and I share them in their entirety because just as Moses recounts all that past in this last book of the Torah, so must we take heed and recount so as to feel the full measure of what appears to be our blessings and our curses as we approach High Holy Days. Moses is very concerned for the Israelites. He states in this parsha how unruly, how ungrateful they have been during the journey. Those of you that take Torah study, you know about this. He isn't going to see the Promised Land. Moses does not get in. And as it turns out, neither will any of the older generation. It is up to the ones who did not experience the Exodus firsthand, that Micha Mocha moment that we danced around, or the ones that built the golden calf to carry the light, the commandments, and God's word forward. Two great passages appear in this parsha: the promise of a land flowing with milk and honey, and the fact that man does not live by bread alone, but by God's word. How many of you heard those sayings? God spoke, and the whole world came into being. This last book, Devarim, Deuteronomy, is a book, as I said, that reiterates with words the language of the entire story. Even gives the commandments again, lest we forget. We are known as a people of the book. We are meant to carry it with us wherever we go. We are meant to uphold its precepts and share in its message. Yet in order to do that, we have to acknowledge deep within our soul that it is a part of us, that it was given to us, and that we are accountable both to it and to God. Moses recounts the major mistakes that were made along the way, the golden calf, the incident with the spies, etc., goes on and on. But he reminds them that God, as the ultimate parent, was forgiving, protected them on the journey, gave them a double portion of manna, and even when they were broken, a second set of the tablets of the commandments. As we begin to look toward our days of awe, it is important to begin this process of reflection and recounting in our lives that will open up our heart and open up our soul, making us ready to receive all the light that is available to us during those days of awe. Awe is defined as a feeling of reverential respect mixed with fear and wonder. This is what Moses was trying to accomplish with the Israelites, and thousands of years later, this is what we must connect to today. The polarity between fear and wonder is awe-inspiring. Defined as breathtaking, amazing, stunning, that which could arouse awe through being impressive, formidable, and magnificent. This is why we work so hard for the Yamim Noraim to make them more than Shabbat, to make them grander, bigger. I like to refer to them as the Super Bowl of Judaism. We are like quarterbacks in the Super Bowl, but we're doing it for God, and we're doing it for ourselves, and we are doing it for the world. Dan, the musicians, myself, all of our volunteers, so much goes into it. Everyone has actually already started preparing. All my sermons are in the works, 2/3 of each one, all 4 sermons, it's done. We all work diligently and tirelessly toward these days, hoping that the experience will be reverent and awe-inspiring, breathtaking, and amazing. Why? Because we want to show up for ourselves, for our world, and for God. Just as Moses reflected and directed the Israelites' energy, so must we too manifest destiny and God's true plan for us all, as Avinu Malkeinu, our Father and our King, our Sovereign. We are human, we err, but High Holy Days gives us the chance to make our amends to others, to forgive as God did, in order to go forward. We are meant not to give in to false gods, to worship things that don't serve us. How many of you have ever done that? And to go forward with faith in Torah and in the light of the commandments that we carry inside of us. As we move toward High Holy Days in just 5 weeks, let us begin the process now. Those of you that are just visiting Temple Emet for the first time, we would love to have you with us. It's quite a thing. We have these ones here, but we have flute, and we have saxophone, and we have cello, and we have 4 professional soloists. It's a great, great thing. We have the harp, yes, and we miss Hilda, she's not here. We have so much going on. What? Trumpet? We're having trumpet? I don't know. A couple years we haven't had trumpet. People decided it was too loud. We're going to have trumpet? Oh, we're having trumpet. There we go. And of course, there's the shofar. So as we begin to prepare, let us look at everything and everybody in our lives, and let us figure out what serves us. Let us figure out what depletes us, what works, and what doesn't. Let us reach to make the connection within and with God, to pull us out of all that holds us back in order to propel us forward. That's what it's about. We are meant to have a land flowing with milk and honey in every corner of our lives, everyone in the world, just as the fringe talit is on 4 corners, representing the 4 corners of the world. We are meant to, all of us, wherever we go in the world, know that God is with us, that God spoke and the world came into being, and that God provided for us, gave us a structure to work within in order to create for ourselves a life of abundance, like the double portion of manna or 2 chalot on Shabbat. The promise is ours. We just need to take care of our business and get out of our own way. May all of us be worthy. May we reach for that promise. May we take care of what we need to so that we can be blessed and strong and full of abundant health, joy, happiness. May we be so worthy that we merit a true, good, sweet new year, not for just ourselves alone, but for the purpose of sharing. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may it be God's will. Shabbat Shalom. So now we are going to do a prayer for those who are in need of a spiritual or a physical boost of healing on page 371. There we will find the Misha Berach prayer. In your mind's eye, see all the people that you want to send a blessing to for renewed strength and vigor. You can say their names in your own heart and your own being. Page 371. We ask that Adonai be with those in our community who are ill, who are struggling physically and spiritually, and those around the world as well. And each of us, those that we know and that we love. Mi sheberach avoteinu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. And we have several people in our community at home that are preparing for surgery, and we wish them a good outcome, and that their physicians and nurses and the whole team will be rested and not party the night before, and be well and ready to give them the good help that they need. And you know who you are, your community is here for you. So may everyone have a refuah shlema. And so now we're going to turn to the Aleinu, and then we're going to have some announcements, and then we're going to bless, we're going to dedicate the letter Mem, and then we're going to bless one another. Please rise if you're able, bottom of page 586. It continues on the next 3 pages. Bottom of 586. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, l'teikid l'sebereshi. Shalo asanu kegayeh haratzot, velo samanu kamishvahot adama. Shalo sam chelkeinu kahem, vegor aleinu chechol hamonam. Vanachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, lefne melech malchei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Shehu Notei Shamayim Beyoser Aretz, Hu Moshe V'Yakaro V'Shamayim Ima'al, V'Shechinah Tuzo, V'Gam Hei Meromim, Hu Eloheinu Ein Od, Emet Malkeinu Efes Ulato, Kakatu B'Torato, V'Data Hayom, V'Yadata Hayom V'Shevota El Vavacha, Ki Adonai Hu Elohim, V'Shamayim Mimal, V'Haaretz, Mitachot Enod, page 591. V'ne'emar, v'haya Adonai, l'melech al kol haaretz, v'yom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, v'shemo echad. Please be seated. And now if you'll turn to page 598 for our Martyr's Kaddish. If you have lost anyone in the last 7 days, would you please rise and say your loved one's name? The last 7 days? Yes, sorry to hear. If you've lost anyone in the last 30 days, the Shloshim period, Sunny. Sorry to hear. Crystal. Oh, sorry to hear. And if you've lost anyone in the last 11 months, would you please rise and say their name? Diana. Amy. Oh, Harriet? Okay. Go ahead, Shelley. I want you to have your turn. Mark? Stay standing. Sunny? Robin and Steve? Okay. And then Crystal, anybody else? Anyone else? Okay. If you are observing the yard site, the anniversary of a loved one's death, raise your hand. Go ahead. Stay standing. Harriet Tannen. Together we rise on page 598. For the Kaddish, when I raise my hand, you can say Amen. Amen means I agree, may it be so if you're not following along in the text. So when I say V'yimaru and I raise my hand, if you look at the English, there's no mention of mourning, it's all a celebration of the divine. So putting that praise out once again, it reflects on our loved ones, and then it reflects back on us and God as well. Yit gadol v'yit kadash shemei rabbah, ve'almad yivarach chirutei ve'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei l'chol beit Yisrael, va'agala v'zman kariv yimru. Yehei shemei rabbah mevarach le'alam l'omei amaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, V'it hadar, v'it alev, v'it ala, shemei d'kudasha b'rechu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tishvechata, v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alama v'imru. Amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Oseh shalom b'imrumav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May God, who is the creator of life and death, grant eternal rest and perfect peace to our loved ones in the heavenly realm, peace to those who are suffering and mourning at this time, and peace to all the world. As together we say, Amen. Please be seated, and our president is coming up. And then after she gives the announcement, Mira and Amy and Lynn, you want to come up here and we'll dedicate the mem.
Shabbat shalom. I'm sorry I'm a mess tonight. Forgive me. I'm still recovering. I want to welcome all of you here in our building and those at home watching on our live stream. And thanks always to Mark Tannen for his work on the live stream. I want to welcome all our visitors today. If you're here for the very first time, would you please stand up and say your name and let us welcome you officially. Linda. Morris. Adrian. Welcome. We're delighted to have you. Our service tonight is sponsored by Mark Tannen in loving memory of his mother, Harriet Tannen. And our flowers are sponsored by Bob and Natalie Spencer in loving memory of Nat's sister, Marilyn. Thank you to our wonderful Rabbi Cantor Didi. A beautiful service, as always. Thank you to our wonderful musical director, Dan Spector, and to our wonderful musicians, Marianne on violin, Amy on baritone, uke, and we miss you, Hilda, and we miss you, Stacy. Our next Friday, Shabbat, is another new member open house on September 16th and starts at 5 o'clock with dinner from Lisa's Bon Appetit, so check your emails. Service will start at 6:30. Bring a friend. Our next lunch bunch, can't forget lunch bunch, is Wednesday, September 7th at 12:30 at Truxton's. So let me know if you'll be coming. We are starting to prepare for high holidays. Erev Rosh Hashanah is Sunday, September 25 at 7:30. You're beginning getting your email letters from me very, very soon. I've just started putting it together, but you know, it happens, so that's good. Did I miss anything? I didn't miss anything? Dan?
You didn't miss it, but can you please announce August 31st in the evening, which is Wednesday, we'll do our next music class, music appreciation class?
Oh, we're starting music appreciation again. How lovely, on Zoom.
Yes.
August 31st. There'll be an email announcement. Judy, make sure we do that. Dan has the most amazing music appreciation class on Zoom, and if you haven't attended, you're really missing something. So please, please join us. Did I miss anything else? Well, I tried. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. And for those that are interested in Northeastern meditation, Roger Peterson, I think he's still doing his Monday meditation. Is that right, Harriet? So on Mondays, Shelley? What time is that? 6, 7? 7 o'clock, meditation with Roger. And then, okay, you can always text Harriet, you can always text me, I'm very accessible. And Torah study usually happens the Saturday after a service. I think it's on hiatus until November, I don't know. You can check with Mark Tannen. Most of our classes and things start back up in November. Like I said, if you're interested in Hebrew again, let me know. We are also, I think there's a Bible class that's going to start back up in November as well. And again, those Saturday morning services. It's very different in the daytime than it is at night. Both, right? The music is a little different. Yeah, it's good. So, and then we go out to lunch. We're always eating here. It's just what we do. So, all right, Diana, you sat down and now you have to get up again. Okay, and for those of you that don't know, of blessed memory, Tony, Amy, and Mira, and Diana, they all just lost Diana lost her beloved husband, they lost their father just a couple weeks ago. So we had a huge memorial service for him on the Saturday, what was it, the 6th of August? And we had, the booklets are there if you're interested, but we had over 130 people here, and we had almost 100 people online watching. So Lynn's going to come forward with Amy and Mira and Diana, and Lynn was so kind and generous, the Ishachayil that she is. So you can dedicate a letter, a tribe. The name goes on our board here, and they did the letter Mem. Mem is one of the few letters that it has a regular letter and it has a final letter. And Mem is for Mayim, the waters of life, Mayim Chayim. And that's the, right, thank you. We're like, let's make a deal, or what's behind that door? What's behind that letter? And so, thank you so much, Sandra. And Mark Riker did this with Elias and with Sandra. Mem is also the letter for Moses, for Mashiach, for the perfect world to come. For Mensch, what? Yes, you did good, you did it right. You've taken the Hebrew, Lamed, Mem, you did good. That's fine. Well, we're going to talk about the donate. Come on, did you want to come up? Lynn wants to talk about why she did.
What?
Right. As Mark said, if you look up here, Aleph Mem Tav, the Mem is the total middle letter of the alphabet, and it is the middle letter of our name, Emet, which means truth. So everything, the polarity of opposites, as we said, the beginning and the end rests on that core, on that nexus, on that setter, on that Mem. So go ahead. Oh, Mark has something else to say.
Another bit of information. If you look at the letters.
Just use the...
Okay, if you look at the letters, there's 3 letters in the alphabet that happen to be a different color up here. Do you know which ones they are? The Aleph, the Mem, and the Tav. And they are the letters in Emet.
As you can see up there, which Mark made, our Ner
So
Tamid.
we specifically did it to emphasize Emet as part of the alphabet.
Thank you, Mark.
Well, it's just an incredible honor for me to be able to honor our beloved Tony Wolf as a scholar, as a teacher, and as a mentor. We attended the B'nai Mitzvah classes for 2 years together, and I greatly admired Tony's dedication to Judaism and to study. His patience was incredible. He was so encouraging. You know, Adam and myself attended, and we were new Hebrew scholars, and Tony was just a guiding light all the way. And he was really an incredible example as we learned our Hebrew and our prayers. And we had really 2 wonderful years of study together, and I will always remember Tony's scholarly influence in my life.
Oh, that's so wonderful. Thank you. Did any of you want to say anything? How old was Tony when he had his bar mitzvah with us?
83.
83, that's right. It was the big number, 83. I was trying to get other people to do it at 83. But you know what? You know, you're supposed to have a second bar mitzvah at 83.
Lynn, I thank you so much for remembering Tony in such a beautiful way. We chose Mem because his middle name was Michael, Mottel, and we said, well, it's part of Emet, and it's a really good letter. So thank you so much. The family really appreciates your generosity, and it's just truly wonderful. And yes, I remember being part of that B'nai Mitzvah class because I was confirmed at that time. Because Tony said, I need you to do this with me. I said, okay, because I had done my B'nai Mitzvah before with Sandra when she did her. You know, we just keep learning until we stop. So we haven't stopped.
That's why we're still plugging away.
That's why we're
And Tony had a good run.
I really encourage any of you who have not studied Hebrew with Rabbi Cantor Didi. It's something you really want to do if you've never learned. I never learned anything because I never had a bat mitzvah.
Yes, she has a doctorate.
Well, yeah, but that's in English. Anyway, it was truly a blessing to learn Hebrew with Rabbi Cantor Didi. It was a blessing. Thank you so much.
And it's always a blessing to have all of you. And Tony was a blessing. He really was. He will always be a blessing, not, forever. Do you guys want to say anything more?
Sure. Okay. Thank you, Lynn, and thank you to my mom for making this happen. I love that my dad's memory is all over the temple now and on YouTube.
Yeah.
I just noticed that M is also for memory. So I really don't have much else to say. I've said it all, but I appreciate all of this very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So I don't know if you guys want to stay down there. We're all going to stand and bless one another with the Birkat Kohanim, the priestly benediction. Put your arms around the person next to you. This crosses over through many different denominations of faith. May God bless you and keep you. May God's countenance shine upon you. May God be with you always in your comings and your goings and grant you peace. And everyone in between each line says, Kain Yehi Ratzon, which means, may it be God's will. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav alecha v'chuneka. Yisa Adonai panav alecha v'yasem lecha shalom. Kain Yehi Ratzon, may it be God's will. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you to everyone that participated. Thank you to Judy and the crew that helped with dinner. If you're new here and you want to talk to me, please talk to me. We look forward to having you all back again, hopefully. And what's our closing song? Oh, say shalom b'nelma, v'yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. 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 Woo! Shabbat Shalom, everybody. And remember, we only have one more service before Rosh Hashanah, and that's the third Friday of September, September 16th. Looking forward to seeing you all there. And the flowers are going with the Spencers. Yes, don't forget your flowers. Thank you, everyone.